Hello everybody, Dan Babis here. Welcome back to Daily Soap Dish. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below because we cover a ton of 90 Day Fiancé right here on the channel. Right guys, so let's get into it. Today we have a story for you about Ben Rathbun and Mahogany Rocca. Now, if you guys watch the tell-all, I don't know if the tell-all of the past season of Before the 90 Days really answered many questions or any questions with these two. I think it left more questions unanswered. Now, we do know that this couple was seen recently together, so it looks like they're still together, perhaps even filming for another season of Before the 90 Days. But today we're going to talk about two things. Mahogany went online and she explained why she speaks English so fluently. A lot of people are really puzzled by how she just kind of changes in a very phony way between English and Spanish. And some people even saying that she doesn't speak Spanish with a Peruvian accent. Some people saying that she speaks English. It looks like she speaks English better than Spanish. And so she's kind of addressed those things. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk a little bit about this rant or tirade that Ben went on, because he went on this really long tirade about a day or so ago. And he kind of spoke about everything. Honestly, he just really made a lot of excuses about Mahogany's behavior. Really, that's really what it is, because she's kind of come across as cold and just very distant, and just wasn't able to really connect with people. So let's take a look first at the Mahogany angle right here. So this comes from Screen Rant, by the way. Mahogany reveals why she speaks English so fluently. So Mahogany's perfect English led fans to believe that she wasn't Peruvian, but secretly American like her boyfriend Ben. And not just American, but an American actress plant in Peru. That's what a lot of people believe, and or believed. So the Peruvian star Mahogany told her Instagram followers why she can speak English so well. Now, Mahogany became the biggest mystery of the 90 Day Fiancé spinoff, and her storyline with the Michigan man Ben Rathbun, 30 years older than her. Fans were sure that star Mahogany was a catfish and not a real person. I was sure about that myself, because Ben spoke of how he'd never seen her on video and only knew of her social media photo with filters. Although Ben did end up meeting Mahogany in Peru, many questions about her remain unanswered. So, because Ben had been catfished before by a man in Nigeria, Usman, was that you? Be honest. The chances of it, no, I'm just joking. The chances of it happening all over again with Mahogany were high. Mahogany had already taken a $1,000 loan from Ben and had given him a fake address. She also lied to him about her age by telling him she was 24 years old when she was really 22. Ben claimed that Mahogany knew little English, so he also used a translator while talking to her in Peru. But from what fans could see, Mahogany was fluent in English and even had an accent that made her seem less Peruvian to them. Some viewers accused Mahogany of being a 90 Day Fiancé producer plant and an actress who was roped in from America to play the part of the real Mahogany, who never actually showed up to meet Ben. Some people still believe that, by the way. But Mahogany has finally told her Instagram fans why she can speak English so well. So she posted another heavily filtered photo on her IG stories, and she said, "Hello, I have a lot I want to tell." Mahogany wrote as her caption. She admitted that she did not open up much on 90 Day Fiancé. However, she confessed that she has much to say and to tell TLC viewers. The first topic that she wanted to tackle is her fluency in English, and she said that she's never rated her English as the best, but when she was 3 years old, she was already singing songs in English. That's kind of odd, right? If you have never really rated your English that well, you're already speaking or singing English songs at 3. I guess it's possible, just kind of odd. So this is the story right here. That's where Mahogany's passion for English began. However, she also addressed accusations of her not being a Latina, and said, "I feel proud that my Spanish is part of me." While this may not have been a satisfactory enough answer for 90 Day Fiancé fans about her English, there are still many unresolved things in her storyline with former youth pastor Ben. When Mahogany showed Ben an Airbnb rental and pretended as if it were her house, wasn't brought up during the tell-all. She also never got to justify her filter obsession, and I agree that it really should have been justified, because, or at least explained. Look, the tell-all sucked, in my opinion. It was It was terrible, really. Memphis walked off the set completely. Mikey was not really pushed enough, in my opinion, to answer a lot of questions. Mahogany and Ben didn't really explain much of anything. The whole thing is just as much of a mystery as it was before. It wasn't a very good tell-all. It just left too many questions unanswered, in my opinion, all around. So, I do wish that TLC could do a better job of, having people answer some of these questions in the future. So, right. Moreover, their vague Instagram posts don't tell if they're still together or not after the 90 Day Fiancé tell-all reunion. Fans didn't get to hear Mahogany's side of the story, as her introduction interview was also not recorded. It was Ben who later revealed that Mahogany has a career in law and that she uses filters just for fun on social media. But Ben is not reliable enough as a narrator for fans to believe him. Mahogany's current relationship status on Facebook says that she's single. An old photo of preseason 5 in a Lima-based theater school is proof that she's a trained actress. We did a video about that, guys, by the way. If you didn't watch it, go watch it. It's called Proof That Mahogany is an Actress. She was indeed at Lima, Peru theater school. She was enrolled in that, and so she's definitely had some acting lessons as part of her repertoire. And so was her making marriage plans with Ben the second time he went to Peru before the tell-all was part of an act? After revealing her secret about her English, perhaps Mahogany will slowly start spilling more tea about herself on Instagram. Okay, so not really. I wish there was more in this piece, guys, and I'll give you something more here. Okay, it didn't. This is what I think. I think that Mahogany craves social media fame. They all do. Just look at this season of 90 Day Fiancé with Jibri and Miona lying about being married, and Miona Black fishing, and them just basically coming across as super, super thirsty for social media fame. I think Mahogany wants a little bit of that, but at the same time, I get the feeling that she's a little self-conscious, and so she only posts super duper heavily filtered photos out there, and I don't know that she likes the criticism. So she's not very active on social media, really doesn't post all that much, and so for that reason, she comes off as cold and distant. She doesn't connect with fans. She barely posts. She barely exposes herself. She has a real problem with exposing herself, and she's just not going to connect, especially when fans already are saying that she's fake. She's lied about the Airbnb. She's lied about her age. She's lied about her English. She's lied about being Peruvian. Just so many questions with these two. And that's, once again, another example. I will open up, but I'm not really going to do it right now. And so if you got a story to tell, tell it. Otherwise, just don't waste your time, is really my opinion with Mahogany. I think Mahogany wants her cake and she wants to eat it too. And this is what's happening. It's basically made Ben have to resort to going out there and defend Mahogany and try to paint her in a positive light. And of course, we know that he's not necessarily the most credible witness, right? He went to Peru not even knowing if Mahogany was real. This is a guy that got a DUI and blamed homeless people. So not really the most credible witness. So we'll tell you what Ben said right here, because he did go online and he did kind of try to plead Mahogany's case, so to speak. This is what he says. Empathy, kindness, love. Imagine being a young... By the way, this is on John Yates' Instagram account. He screen captioned that. I can leave a link so you guys can check it out down below. Imagine being a young woman and falling in love online, and after connecting spiritually, you're interested in meeting face to face. But instead of your man simply traveling to meet you and your parents, he instead wants to bring along millions of people. You're definitely not comfortable with this, and it would compromise the relationship, but he talks you into saying that it would help his charity and be a platform to express views on a large platform. He finally talks you into it. So he's saying something interesting here. He talks you into saying that it would help his charity. So did Ben talk Mahogany into coming on the show because it would help his charity? I guess I was not aware of that before, but I guess that's what he's saying right here. The day before he's to arrive, you have an omen that things will go terribly wrong. You ask him not to come, he agrees, but the next morning he changes his mind and comes anyways. You have now been lied to, and you let him know you will not be at the airport. By the way, guys, where in here does Ben mention that Ben is a 52-year-old man and that Mahogany is 22? And so, Mahogany probably was creeped out by this old dude just coming, to her country when she told him not to come, and he's just coming anyways. Where in the story is it saying that? Because I think any 22-year-old would be creeped out by that. That's not to say that Mahogany didn't lead him on, but I mean, let's be real here. There is something kind of creepy about that whole situation, right? Out of caution, you have not revealed to him where you live or your true age, and it is never followed up on again until the world starts watching. These two things get contorted into devious lies to make you look like a deceitful person. Well, if you lie, you are a deceitful person, right? I mean, I don't know what Ben is saying here. Combine all of this with protecting your heart because he's constantly pushing for a deeper level of commitment without putting the time in. And of course, you are being surrounded by a very curious and judgmental world. So he's blaming us here, right? He's already blamed the TLC producers. Even in the first part, he's saying that he went there with a crew, and so that was a problem. And now he's blaming everybody else. This is not natural, and this is not right. It seems reasonable to think he simply wants attention. It does not really care about the relationship. Finally, on the last day, after finally connecting and giving him some trust, it appears your man is trying to humiliate you in front of the entire world by pushing to ask questions he already knows the answers to. This is pure humiliation and gaslighting, and you don't need it. It's too much, so you wisely walk away. Really? Or is it just that Mahogany was basically caught lying, and she... it's kind of funny because it's almost like Ben is gaslighting us and gaslighting himself in the process. Because if I recall, Mahogany walked away simply because Ben called her out on her lies. She didn't want to answer those questions. Every time she was called out on lying about stuff, she walked away. She had to get away from the camera, and it's easy to just kind of say that the reason for that is because she did not want to answer questions about lying. She did not want to be portrayed in that light, and she clearly lied. I don't know what Ben is saying here. He's kind of confusing me. It was very obvious, in my opinion anyways, that Mahogany just did not want to be confronted about being a liar on TV, so she pretended like it was something else. Just my opinion. But Ben is just, I think he's gaslighting himself and everybody else here. All right, let's take a look at the next here. There's a lot to this message, guys. And like everything else Ben does, it's kind of confusing. And if anything, doesn't really make things better, kind of tends to make things worse. At the reunion, the entire day is chaos, confusion, and confrontation. Your man has exposed you to the world in the worst possible light and does not defend you well. And now that it's over, you're being judged for looking cold and cautious. Every day there are more and more demeaning comments, DMs, and articles written about you, judging you unfairly without important information. This is dangerous for anyone's mental health, and you are not aware that these would be the consequences when you agreed to have the world look into your life. Now imagine that young woman is you. As I'm engaging in more empathy in my self-reflection, I know that I publicly hurt her, so I'm now publicly apologizing to Mahogany. It's late, but it's very sincere. So what happened to this world where we now believe it's okay to criticize a young woman publicly and mercilessly? Kindness is the answer. Kindness should always win. Oh my God, guys, I have a headache from reading that from Ben. Oh, that was a rough one. I don't know what you guys think. You guys let me know what you think about that whole thing in the comment section down below. So I'll tell you my thoughts. Ben, he's in his own head. Ben thinks that he is smarter than he is. Ben thinks that he's smarter than us, and he thinks that he can just kind of manipulate us with these massive, Johnny has called it a word salad. I agree with that. He just puts in these big words, and he writes a lot. And, remember, guys, when Ben wrote like 20,000 page essay to Mahogany and creeped her out, and she didn't want to meet him, right? Well, you can kind of see, you have a glimpse of that, I think, right here. He's writing so much, and a lot of it just doesn't make any sense, right? And he's clearly not addressing certain key issues here, right? He's not addressing the fact that he's this 52-year-old and he's trying to date a 22-year-old, and he's saying that God put her in his heart, and that comes off as creepy. And some people have said that it's predatorial or predator-like behavior because he's trying to get this very young woman, and he's not addressing that in here, right? He's already said that, oh, because I work out, I'm not a predator, but he's not addressing how Mahogany would feel about that whole thing. And in my opinion, it would be something of concern for her. Also, it just sounds like a lot of excuse making. Just my opinion. A lot of excuses. We've seen this with Ben before. You know, he had the DUI, and he just went on after a few days and said that one thing led to another. I found myself at a Red Roof Inn, and after a while, I decided to take a drink from these homeless people, and the drink was spiked, and so eventually I got a DUI, and that's the reason for it. Yeah, I don't know, and Ben he seems to always have an excuse for something. He doesn't like to take a lot of accountability, and just everything is an excuse. And you can see here that he's blaming TLC producers. He's blaming the show. Look, if he did go to Peru without Mahogany's authorization, it's a little weird, I have to say. I'd be creeped out too. This guy shows up with this massive crew. It's a little weird. I don't know if that's true, though. I don't know if I believe Ben that Mahogany was not in on it, because I think you have to sign some contracts and some papers with Sharp Entertainment in Peru. Even if you're not in the USA, I think you still have some contracts to sign. So it's not like you just show up on the show as a cast member on Before the 90 Days and you're just there. Like, I couldn't just go on the show tomorrow and just appear without having to sign some contracts and whatnot. So I don't buy what Ben is selling here. I don't buy that she had no idea about that. Look, a lot of words there. You guys let me know what you think, guys. I'm going to cut the video right here. I personally, like I said, I think this is more Ben. This is what he does. Lots of words and very little substance. And often he actually just ends up looking worse. Also, if Mahogany had a problem with how she was being perceived this season, she could have come online and clarify things herself. She didn't. And so that's what happens. And if Mahogany and Ben have a problem with the articles and videos, maybe don't come on the show and expose yourself to criticism, because that's what happens when you come on a show like 90 Day Fiancé, right? And if they had a problem with producers, yeah, they maybe don't go on the show, period. Look, you guys let me know what you think, guys, all right? Ben, talking about Ben is giving me a headache because all these words, they just confuse me. So you guys let me know what you make of this whole thing in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a big thumbs up. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.